for the talk. Join host Jerry McKee. He's the man with the show. From mayors to musicians, let the good times flow. Grab a seat and settle down. Get ready for a ride. Incredible guests lined up. Let's take it in stride. Voices from your community, stories to be told. With every conversation, let the magic unfold. Join the prime time, come on, tune in. Engage in discussions where the fun begins. With Jerry McKee at the helm of the stream. Experience the vibes, live the dream. From Ronnie McDowell to the Oak Ridge Boys, connecting us all through laughter and joys. Every guest a treasure, a beacon of light. Each story a journey, taking flight. Get to know the people who shape our days. With Jerry leading the way, we'll be amazed. So grab your coffee, it's time to unwind.
Well, hello, I'm Jerry McKee, and it is 7 o'clock on a Monday, and we got a great guest for you tonight. And this internet, because my charter internet went out at 15 minutes to 6, and it hadn't really come on yet, so I'm using Nighthawk and seeing, wiggling him through this right here. We got Michael Bright. He's a singer, songwriter, and Michael Bright started his first music journey in 1995 as a Southern gospel recording artist. He does all kind of great things. His gospel music has charted as in the top 40 in the USA, and he's the first and only Southern gospel recording artist to have 5 songs in the top 25 simultaneously. That means all at one time in the United Kingdom and on Sunrise Radio. Now, he has 2 of the songs who went #1 and stayed in the top 40 for almost 6 months. Now, Michael presented over 250 concerts a year throughout the U.S. between 1995 and 2013. That's a lot of concerts, I'll tell you. And that's a lot of dragging equipment and doing this and that. Oh, man, it takes a lot out of you. But what makes this incredible is this happened without a radio promoter, booking agent, or even a recording company. So he did this all on himself. He loves to promote things, and he's a very promotional guy. In August of 2025, Michael started a new journey, writing and producing beach music. And we're going to hear some of that here also. And let me kind of bring Michael on. And let me click a button or two here. And there he is. There's the man himself.
Here we
Michael.
are.
How you doing,
back. Good, man. I feel honored to be on your show after I saw the introduction of all the people you have interviewed before, the Oak Ridge Boys. I believe you said Loretta Lynn and T. Graham Brown. I feel honored to be on here, man.
Oh, man, I tell you, you're right there with the best of them, because we people don't realize that. Well, man, you have been around a lot of guests. You're from Charleston, South Carolina, and I think you moved up the hill to Georgia a little bit, didn't you? Or down the hill.
I did. I went up. Well, kind of. I guess you go sideways or whatever, south to Georgia. But I married my wife Judy 29 years ago, and she brought me to her hometown where we reside now in Swainsboro, Georgia.
Yeah, man, you're talking about these celebrities right here, but you got to be around with Conway Twitty, Ronnie McDowell, Alabama, and Ricky Skaggs, and Archie Campbell, and Reba McEntire, and had one rare opportunity to stand side by side with Roy Acuff at the Grand Ole Opry. And I tell you what, and the people are going to see your music museum. I was blown away looking at the pictures and things, and I'm going to make a trip down there to see it in person. But we're going to show some slides and pictures, and they're just going to see some great, awesome collections that you have.
Right. Well, that's it right there behind me. Matter of fact, I'm here at the Music Museum doing this interview tonight. So,
and if you want to go and see the museum, there's a QR code right there. You can take and scan it. Take your phone and scan it, and it'll take you right there to the website, and you'll be able to see some of these great pictures. But you're gonna be able to see the pictures on here also that he sent. So that's all you got to do. Just scan that one little thing right there, which we all know what a QR code. That means quick response. That's it.
Right. I want to give me 1 second here. I'm going to put something behind my phone right here because we're getting where this thing wants to slide on me a little bit. There we go.
Yes.
We'll make sure. There we go. We're good now.
See,
all right.
Now, Michael and I was kind of like old school stuff. Like, we can say that, people's got these gadgets to hold this and this right here. Not us. We innovate. we take stuff and say, hey man, that cup is going to hold that. Or we're going to put a
I've got a coffee cup right here. I got a coffee cup holding this phone up, man.
and I went old school also because usually I'll use a teleprompter and things like this to my notes and everything is right in front of me and look straight at the camera. But now I've got my little printout and little thing beside me here that I can cheat by now, and people notice my eyes darting back and forth. They're gonna say, "Well, he's a little crazy." And yes, looks like I'm at the beach. Yes, I'm not at the beach.
Yes.
Now, you've got a song that just came out recently. That a video, and we're going to show that also here in a few minutes. And so, what switched you from some of the Southern gospel music to, and you still do that, I know that also, but
yes,
what kind of made you switch gears a little bit?
Well, it's hard to say. Actually, again, I was Southern gospel music, like as you said earlier, between 1995 2013, I was doing 250 concerts a year. I got off the road in 2013 and just said it was time to take a little rest from all the traveling. And so since then, I've just been chilling out. I've got this business over here, Main Street Market Antique Mall, where the Music Memories Museum is inside the mall. And that's what I've been doing here now for the last 12 years. And but just back in August of 25, I always listen to beach music. I like to listen to beach music, Southern gospel music. I like jazz. I like a little bit, the 80s music. I listen to it all. And I was listening to the beach music station one day and something just caught my attention. I said, man, I've always loved beach music. I just want to try something. So that's what I did. I got on, and I know, they have all this new stuff out there now where you can do AI if you want to do AI. And I did do a few songs AI generated, but I sent them a little bit, played those out there for a while. But I decided, hey, I want to get away from AI. I mean, the Lord gave me a voice, and I said I want to use it. And I said, so I'm going to go ahead and record a song that, with my real voice. And that's what I did. I decided to write this song. I wrote the song. And then I got the music together. And again, with my Southern gospel music, back when I have recorded 12 albums. And I had a friend named Simeon Annabergy who lived in Louisville, Kentucky. See, I cannot write music. I cannot read music, and I cannot play instruments, but I can write the songs, and I get the tune in my head. And I would go to Simeon there in Louisville, Kentucky, and say, hey, Simeon, here's my words. This is my tune. Can we get this thing together? And he would lay them tracks down for me, and he would get it, run it all down. And he would play the drums. He would do this. He did it all on his own to run this whole shebang down my tracks. So all my tracks of my Southern gospel music was done through Simeon. So I got with him on this song. I said, all right, Simeon, I hadn't heard from you in a while. Let me show you what I got going on. This is my song. This is the words. Let's see if we can get a track and get some music down for me to see if I can get this thing recorded. So that's kind of where I got to. And, I recorded it, and I just sent the song out Monday last week. And a lot of things has happened.
Well, your roots, when we were talking about the gospel music like that, you were, I guess, like me, myself, I was on the wrong road to destruction, basically. And something led you near a church that you actually could see from your home. And, when I grew up, the church was in my backyard, and I went to church sometimes because I had a girlfriend. And
oh yeah,
so that's why I went. And so you kind of went on that path also, and you just kind of stepped foot in that church one day as a young man there, and your neighbor invited you, and that goes to tell people, you got to invite people to church. One day they might show up.
Yeah, I could actually see the church. I could throw a rock at this church. Matter of fact, I lived that close to it. But it was a young couple who came to that church one day knocking on doors, and they invited me to that church. And I was going through some struggles at that time, and I decided to go to church. And I went to that church, and I said, I think about the second Sunday I went, the Lord touched me, and I got down, went out the seat in the pew and walked toward the altar and got down on my knees, asked the Lord in my heart as my personal Savior, and a new man was born.
Well, I think it was in 1995 when you recorded your first Southern Gospel CD, correct?
It was. I decided to record my first CD, and my first song that ever went out on the radio is titled "Take Time for Jesus." The song was actually written by Ronnie McDowell, and back then, me and Ronnie McDowell was close as some friends. We don't stay in touch with each other like we used to, but back then, I got with him, and he had this song he wrote, and I said, Ronnie, can I want to record the song. I'll tell you exactly how it happened. I was actually with Ronnie McDowell up in Nashville, Tennessee. He lived in Portland, Tennessee, and he was having a festival in his town during that time. And they have like a festival every year during the Strawberry Festival there in Portland. But he had that day, I remember he had Jerry Lee Lewis and Dobie Gray singing there that day. And anyway, we went into his office, and that's when I got to his office, and I saw the stack of records laying there. Now I already had a bunch of record albums that Ronnie had out. But there's this one record I saw laying there, and I never saw that record album before. And it was called Showtime by Ronnie McDowell. I said, Ronnie, what's that album there? He said, that's my first album I ever produced, or ever put out. And it was on some kind of record label called Strawberry Records or something. And I said, man, look, he said, take one of them. I said, well, sure, thanks. And it wasn't that many of them, he said, because it was his first album he ever did. I went home and listened to the album, and he had all country music on there except for one gospel song that he wrote called Take Time for Jesus. So that's when I got back with him, and I said, Ronnie, I said, look here, me singing Southern Gospel music, could I record this song? He said, man, it's yours. Do what you want with it. And that song became my signature song, and I sung it in every single concert when I was on the road. You can actually go to michaelbrightmusic.com, my website, and you can go on there and you can hear that song on there. And and it's called Take Time for Jesus. So that's where that came in at right there. So I decided to record my first album back then, and sent it out on the radio, and it got a lot of airplay back then.
Well, and that is great. I want to tell you a little story about my interview with Ronnie McDowell. I was going through some changes to some medications for diabetes and things, and I had him on my show, and sometimes the medicines make you sick. And I was getting towards the end. I said, I got to hold on. And right before that, I said, Ronnie, you got to hold on a minute. And I had to run to the bathroom, and my mic was still on. He could hear all that right there. He's looking like that. I come back, I apologize. I was like, I am so sorry. I said, it just came up, and I said, I was trying to say, I only got about 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
But Ronnie lives up in Hendersonville, that area.
Yeah, that's where he lives now. That's right.
Yeah, I'm not too far from him. That's where William Golden lives, also, from the Oak Ridge Boys, the one with the beard, and he lives up in that area also. And it's really amazing how many country stars and things live in Hendersonville, in that area.
Oh yeah, they do. Now I said Portland, Tennessee is not that far from Hendersonville, and that's actually Ronnie McDowell's hometown. And that's where I knew him back, when he was there, and then he moved into Hendersonville later on.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, let's. I want to switch gears here. I want to switch over to our slide here of some individuals that we can talk about, and let me do some.
All right, surprise me.
All right, All right, let's go right here. Now,
there you go.
Hee-haw.
Yeah, that's Archie Campbell there. Matter of fact, that was during a taping. Ronnie McDowell was doing a taping at the Hee Haw show back then. And back then, I didn't realize, but the Hee Haw show was taped behind the Grand Ole Opry. And that was walking down the hallways. I got to meet a lot of folks through that day matter of fact, the people who was recording that day was Sawyer Brown, Tanya Tucker, Ricky Skaggs, Sweetheart of the Rodeos, and Ronnie McDowell. And they're all recording that day for a Hee Haw show. And that's how I got to meet Archie Campbell. And believe it or not, only 2 weeks after that day right there, which was about 1989, I think right time, Archie Campbell died.
Well, who's that young fella beside him there?
That's my twin brother.
Twin brother.
Now, Jerry, that's before I colored my hair, okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have to do that to make us look a little older.
There you go, right. There we go, yeah. Well, that's a good one. Yeah, that's Billy Crash Craddock. Remember that old song, Rub It In, Rub It In?
That's it.
Yeah, he I was on his bus that day. I just got to meet him one day. He was in concert and got to talk to him, and he was nice enough to invite me on his bus, and he's just a cool guy, man. You know, being I was in the music industry back then, I got to meet a lot of folks. So
that's what I'm saying. Right we're talking about all these other stars here and stuff like that, man. You're a star yourself.
There you go. That's Mr. Chubby Checker, the Twist. Yeah. I got to meet Chubby. I got to meet Chubby Checker twice. Matter of fact, I met him way before that photo one time in Charleston, South Carolina. And then this was another time he actually came right here in Swainsboro, Georgia, and he was doing an interview at the radio station. And they touched base with him and said, hey, he's up here at the radio station. Come on up here. And I got out there, and that was actually a picture taken with Chubby Checker right there at the radio station here in Swainsboro, Georgia.
You know, I was actually on my porch, and in my neighborhood here, they call me the porch DJ. I set up my sound equipment and I blast the neighborhood. We had living out in the country, and you know, and I had a lady tell me yesterday, my neighbor down below me, she says, yeah, when you play that, so we just shut our TV and stuff like that, and we just go outside and listen to music. And I was playing Chubby Checker, and I don't care where I go. If I'm doing a party with like this, you know, sometimes I'll do that. I don't do it often. I'll put that on there. That they twist. They know this. Everybody knows this song, young and old.
Yeah, they do. He's still out there singing too.
Yes.
How about that one? You remember that song? Just a swinging, just a swinging. You talk about it on the front porch.
Me and Charlene.
That's right. That's Mr. John Anderson, and that was John Anderson. That picture was taken in Charleston, South Carolina, my hometown, and just got the opportunity to meet him one day. Pretty cool guy there, John Anderson.
Yes.
There you go. That's Mark with Sawyer Brown, and that was again at the Hee Haw taping that day, and so again I got to meet Sawyer Brown and the whole group there that day, and that's Mark, the lead singer.
Now, where's your cowboy hat?
I didn't have a cowboy hat back then. I had too much pretty hair, man. I don't want to cover up my pretty hair back then.
Yeah. Well, you had almost like a Conway Twitty hair a little bit.
There you go. Same day, that's the same time during the Hee Haw taping right there. Ricky Skaggs, Ricky Skaggs looks pretty young there too, because you know you look at him now too. He's got the color hair like I got.
Yeah, and Ricky Skaggs now he could tear a mandolin up, and he
good bluegrass. Yes. Pretty cool.
Oh, I know that Ronnie McDowell guy beside you.
Yeah, I see him. That's on Ronnie's bus right there. Matter of fact, that day he was right there. And I'll share a story about that picture there with you. Ronnie McDowell that day, he was singing at a club right there, only within 5 minutes from my mother's house. And he had 2 concerts that night. The first concert, he did, and in between the concerts, he had about an hour and a half before he had to go on stage to do the second concert. So he came up to me. He said, "Hey, Michael," he said, "do me a favor." He said, "Are you driving your car here today?" I said, "Yeah, I'm out there in my car." He said, "Take me somewhere where I can just have me a break. I need to just get away a little bit. I need some, just to get away from the music all for a second." I said, "Sure, Ronnie." So we got in the car, and I said, "Where are you going to go?" He's wherever. I said, "Well, let me ask you something, Ronnie. My mother and father only lives 5 minutes from here. Is there any opportunity? Would you feel all right if I brought you over there for you to meet them?" And hey, that's no problem. That'd be great. That's what I need to do. Just get away. So we skipped over there, got my mother's house, and I knocking on the door because I wasn't living there at the time. I went knocking on the door, and here comes my mother at the door answering. "Who is it?" And I told them it was me. And she opened up the door thinking it was just me, and there she was in a nightgown, and there I was standing with Ronnie McDowell in a nightgown. She's standing, and she got all excited. So, "Oh, let me go upstairs and change my clothes." And so anyway, to make a story short, he came on into the home that night, and I've actually got pictures of my mother and Ronnie McDowell that night together, and then later on, I got Ronnie to autograph the pictures after I got them developed, and I sent them back to them for Christmas. But that night, what was so special about that night, Ronnie got to talking. He said, man, let me tell y'all something. It was right in my mother's home. He said, I just got a phone call today from Priscilla Presley, Elvis Presley's wife. And he said, she wants me to do the vocals and the music for the new movie, Elvis and Me. And he said, I'm just so excited. And he said, and so he hadn't told that many people yet that day. And I felt honored that I was one of them to know what's happening that day. So that's what happened that day. And then later, after we got to talking and everything, he had a beer that day at my mother's house. And I will never forget, my mother took that beer can and she saved that beer can. She wrote Ronnie McDowell's name on it and his date that he drunk out that beer can.
Well,
so anyway, we went back to the concert and he did his thing. And that's what happened that night right there.
That's a great story. That is a great story.
Just shows how good of a guy he was. He's just that good of a guy.
He is. I agree with you.
Now that's Mr. Roy Acuff right there. Now, got a great story about Roy Acuff. I spoke a little bit about that a while ago. Again, here it was. Ronnie McDowell and I was walking down the back hallways of the Hee Haw show, which is behind the Grand Ole Opry. And I stopped right there and he said, hey, Ronnie introduced me to, this is Mr. Roy Acuff. And I said, yeah. So about time he introduced me to Roy Acuff, they called Ronnie and said, hey, Ronnie, you have 5 minutes to get on stage. He's all right, I'm headed that way. And here I was now standing with Roy Acuff by himself. Now, again, the person who took these pictures for me, I tell you, was actually Ronnie McDowell's cousin. She was there with us that day. And she was nice enough to do all the pictures for me. So she took a picture of me and Roy Acuff there together. And that's right there in his office. We were right there at the office door. And he was as cool as he can be. And he said, son, have you ever been to the Grand Ole Opry? I said, no, sir, I haven't. Now, in my mind, I had no idea that we were that close to the Grand Ole Opry because we came into the back way to the Hee Haw show, and I didn't really pay attention where we were at. And he said, well, let me show you something, son. And he brought me through his office from the door we were standing at, walked through his office, and he opened up the back door to his office, and we stepped right out on the Grand Ole Opry stage. That's where his office was. And there was no one singing there at the time, but he said, come on out here a minute. And he said, stand right there in that circle. He said, you know where that is? I said, yes, sir. I said, this is where all them singers stood right here, Mr. Roy. And he said, yes, sir. He said, now you can tell everybody that you have stood on the Grand Ole Opry stage. And I looked at him. I said, you know what? I got a better story than that. He said, what you mean? I said, I'm going to tell everybody I stood on the Grand Ole Opry stage with Mr. Roy Acuff. And that was an awesome story that day. And he was as nice as he could be. I just wish I would have got a picture, though, of us standing on the stage.
Now, you released a Christmas album and got.
I did. I released it. I did. I released a Christmas album years ago. Actually, I recorded 12 albums. And I did do a Christmas album because during my December time when I was on the road singing, I would do Christmas concerts. I had a lot of churches book me for Christmas concerts, and because a lot of them didn't have a program and they wanted someone else to come in and do it for them. And there was one time in December, my wife and I did the concerts together. She would read a story during the service, but there was one time we were booked in the month of December. We were booked in 18 churches in the month of 25 days of December. And so that helped you get through the Christmas time. When things slow down with a regular gospel concert, you have a Christmas album and you got them Christmas concerts booked.
Man. And that's what I usually always ask all the artists about Christmas. Like, all right. Now, wait a minute, is this Elvis?
Oh, you dug this one up, didn't you? Yeah, this one here.
Now, send your wife a message that says, hey, send me something that.
Well, this right here is Halloween. It was a Halloween. Me and my wife dressed up that day, and that's a little while back. And I was Elvis, and she actually dressed up as a Starbucks employee. But that's what that was right there. I just happened to dress up as Elvis one day for Halloween.
Well, you look sharp.
There we go. There's two of my great friends right there. That's me on the left, as you know. Right there in the middle is Mr. Dale Jordan, who's a DJ on Back to the Beach Radio. And on the far right is a great friend, Mr. Pat Gwynn, who you know as PatGwynnRadio.com. You can check him out, but he has all the shows, the Top 10 Countdown and Midday Beach Party Show and the Pat Gwynn at the Beach. And that's who that is right there. Everybody hears me talking about Pat Gwynn probably on Facebook and all that. And that's Pat Gwynn. He's really, really helped me and supported my music.
He sure is. And he broadcasts around the world. People don't realize it.
Yes. He's over probably 200 different. Yeah, 200 different radio stations from not just United States, but like you say, other countries. And so my music, when it's played out there, it goes everywhere, man, because of him.
Yeah, I told him, I says, now you sent it, over around Japan. I said, are you having to speak Japanese when you're doing that? Or okay,
There you go. Yeah, that's a magazine. I was on the front cover. I was on the front cover of a couple of magazines when I was in Southern Gospel Music back then, and that was called the Southern Gospel News Scoops. That's SGN,
Yeah.
Southern Gospel News Scoops, and they did a big write up on me in there, and that's what that was about.
well, you look debonair there.
There you go.
Now here's some radio stations that you're on.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, right. And like I said, that was back when I was doing the AI music, Bright All Star Band. I had some AI music that was being played out there. I wrote the words and I produced the music, but and then the voice was AI, and that's Bright All Star Band. That's what that was about.
And the Bright All-Star Band, and that's where you can purchase some CDs there. It's available
Yeah, you can go in and
website.
purchase CDs on the brightallstarband.com, and what I'm doing now with those songs is using more like demos. That if other people want to record these songs that I wrote, that's what that Bright All Star Band is for. Like I said, I got my own music with my own voice on michaelbrightmusic.com. But this is AI music, good songs on there. You can buy the CDs if you want to just listen to them. You can hear the songs on brightallstarband.com. Or if you out there want to record something, go right there and you can listen to the songs and maybe get in touch with me about recording some of those songs.
That's right. And all you got to do is look at the ticker down below, and it's got all the information there that you would need to
Cool.
contact. And Michael is all over the place there. So all you just Google his name and you'll see it fly everywhere. So you can do that also. And now, Michael, you appeared, was it Dove Broadcasting TV Network? Was you as a special guest on there?
Yeah, I sang on Dub Broadcasting Network. I've been on that. I've been on the couple of TV shows I've been on. I can't remember all of them now, but yeah, I've been on TV quite a few times with my Southern Gospel music. Sure have.
And I tell you what, let's listen to one of your gospel music, and we'll play your latest one here in a few moments. Okay?
That's fine. So this is one of my songs here I recorded. Sure, go for it.
Yes, coming right up.
I'll never be departed from the one above. I'll never be departed from the one that I love.
We lost the music
He is
on that
my
one.
best friend and always will be. He promised he would never leave or forsake me. Jesus
the
is
music
his
on that
name,
one
and
there,
he took all the blame when he hung on the cross to die for my shame. When he hung on the cross to die for your shame.
Can you hear me
To
good?
the
I don't know
ones
if they
that
can
are
hear me out there, but the
here and
music's
feeling
not coming
kind of
through.
blue, what he did for me, he
There you
also
go.
did it for you. You can have
Breaking
the
up
same
on it.
peace and joy I've got. All you have to do is open up your heart. Jesus is his name, he wants to come inside. He will fill your heart with the joy that's alive. He will fill your heart with the joy that's alive. I know that it's hard for you to understand, but see, Jesus can do more with your life than you can. He will never let you down, he will always be there. He really loves you and he really does care. Jesus will be there to lead you the right way. He will walk by your side every single day. He will walk by your side every single day. Well, see, I'll never be departed from the one above. I'll never be departed from the one that I love. Yes, he is my best friend and always will be. He promised he would never leave or forsake me. Jesus is his name, and he took all the blame when he hung on the cross to die for my shame. When he hung on the cross to die for your shame. I'll never be departed from the one above. I'll never be departed from the one that I love. He is my best friend and always will be. Well, he promised he would never leave or forsake me. Jesus is his name, and he took all the blame when he hung on the cross to die for my shame. When he hung on the cross to die for my shame. Well, I'll never be departed from the one above. I'll never be departed from the one that I love. He is my best friend, always will be. He promised he would never leave or forsake me. Jesus is his name. He took all the blame when he hung on the the cross to die for my shame. When he hung on the cross to die for your shame. When he hung on the cross to die for our shame. When he hung on the cross to die for my shame.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, I could hear. I could hear you.
Yeah,
I had to.
we got
had to
through
mute
it.
you. I had to mute you there because you was coming over on the over on the song. When you
Yeah, it
started.
was breaking up. There wasn't no music on there at the time for some reason. There wasn't no music coming in for the first little
Right,
bit.
and that's just on your end. So on the
Okay.
screen, as memory's telling you, you got some things that goes on because of the way the internet does. But it was everyone's be able to. It was everyone to hear it real smoothly. That's why I had to kind of put a mute there on both of us, where they can
Oh,
hear
I
the
got
music.
you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Now,
Okay, gotcha. And that is a song that I wrote. I wrote that song myself. And again, I had Simeon up there in Louisville make the tracks for me. And all those, the chorus you hear behind is so cool. That's his voice, where he put his voice in there like one time, then he put his voice again. That's a real, he's just so good at making tracks up there. Great guy.
right. Yeah, and now years ago when I worked at the radio station, we had a 16 reel to reel where we did commercials and stuff on, and 16 means 16 tracks, and we had
That's
to
right.
put one layer and one layer and one layer and stuff like that. And that's the way I do a lot
That's
of my
right.
videos that I edit. I have to put layers and things to make different things happen. But you did a good job on that. Now, what gave you the inspiration for that particular song?
Well, that's a little bit of my testimony. I never be departed. The Lord's always there with me. And, as it says, he's the same yesterday and forever. So that's where that came in at. Just one of those songs I felt led. And again, I wanted something different. I know I'm a Southern gospel singer, but I love all kind of music. And I just wanted that big band sound. And that's what happened. I went into the studio with Simi. I said, all right, here's my words. Simi, let's put something together like a big band sound. Let's see what we can come up with. And that's how it worked out. It came out as a great song.
And it is, because when I first heard it, I said, that I like that, and it's a catchy tune. Also, it's I know it's kind of Southern gospel. But I think it's a little bit better than Southern gospel. I think it's a
There
little
you
bit
go. It's a little different.
more catchier theirs. And
Yeah.
folks, you can
And
look at the sticker down below, and you can also be able to contact Michael anywhere, and even get you something
right.
even better than that.
You can order
Go
that CD, matter of fact, on michaelbrightmusic.com, right there on that scan button. You can order the CD on michaelbrightmusic.com. The Southern Gospel CD has 20 songs on there. And that song, I'll Never Be Departed, is one of them that's on there.
And with this QR code, you can go right there and purchase those and listen to them and see the website and all kind of little things on there.
Well, that's the music. Yeah, that's the Music Memory Museum code up there. So, yeah.
Yep. All you got to do is scratch it. And we got another code coming up, and we're going to get to that in
All
just
right.
a moment.
Cool.
Actually, we're going to, people don't realize that you got another hidden talent there, which is called the Main Street Market Antique Mall, that you've been
That's
over
right.
for quite a few years.
12 years now I've been here.
And was it 12,000 square foot?
It is. It's a 12,000 square foot building with 60 different dealer booths in here. The booths are 10 by 10s. So I got 60 different dealer booths, but I have about 39 dealers because some have more than one booth. And right behind me is part of the 12,000 square foot. The music museum's behind us back there, where I have items in there owned by over 200 and something singers from country music, rock and roll, jazz, R&B. So the museum's inside the antique mall, and that's what we have here. 12,000 square feet, fun, enjoyable shopping experience. Great to have.
And just scan the
to get
code.
away.
Scan the code, it gives you address, the phone number there, and everything like that. Take you right to it, where you can see a lot of the antiques there. And matter of fact, we're going to look at some of those antiques right now, and not only antiques, but I think if you go in there, you see all the antiques. But what we're going to show you some collection this man has here that blew me away, and I know it's going to blow you away too. So we're going to go to that. Let me take this off here a moment, and let's. It's almost like looking at home movies. But let me bring up the museum slide. Here we go.
Okay. There you
And
go. That's
this is
where I'm.
just a-
Matter of fact, that's right behind me, like where I'm sitting at now. What you seeing behind me, but it's just a better picture. That's the walk when you first walk into the museum.
and free admission. You
Yes, it is. Don't cost you anything.
You could go shop all in the antique mall and say, you know what? I want to walk through over here. And there he goes.
Yep.
And you know what? It's you see something you like, negotiate.
There you go.
Maybe. He's got certain items that you can't. No, you can't take. No, you can't. Well, let's go with this one right here, and let's talk a little bit about this Allman Brothers.
Yes, that's a 1999 Harley Davidson lowrider. It once belonged to Greg Allman of the Allman Brothers. Cool story about how I received that was a man walked into my museum one day. He was looking around, and after he looked around, he walked up to me at the counter and he said, "Is this your private collection?" I said, "Yes, sir. It's my private collection. I've been collecting since the 1980s." And he said, "Well, this is Jerry. This is exactly what he said." He said it in these words. He said, "I have something that I purchased at an auction about 5 years ago," he said, and it's been in my storage since. He said, "I had no idea what I was going to do with it until God just told me to give you the opportunity to buy it." That's exactly how he said it.
Oh, wow.
So we talked about it. Made a deal. Next day he had it there. He drained the gas out of it, put new gas in it. He put a new battery in it, drove that thing right in there, and it's been sitting right there. Well, I used to crank it up every two weeks, but you start smelling gas inside the store. We don't want that. So it's been all drained out. The battery's been taken out of it, but it's sitting there as pretty as it was. And it's Greg Allman's 1999 Harley Davidson. I got the paperwork, name, and everything on it.
Man, what a collection right there. Now, not only is this you got a great collection there, you have a certificate of award for Music Memories Museum there. Tell us a little bit about this award.
Well, that's the Georgia Country Music Hall of Fame, and they got with me one day and said, "Hey, man, we'd like to induct you into the Georgia Country Music Hall of Fame for the museum because so many people came to it." We've had all 50 states and over 20 countries sign our guest book for the museum. I have been actually on TV 6 times for the museum. So they just got in touch and said, "We want to, we would like to induct you." So that's what that's about right there. We've been inducted to the Georgia Country Music Hall of Fame, the Music Memories Museum.
That's an honor, really. That is a great honor.
Yeah, it was really
Here
cool.
we go. Here's some great stuff here.
All right, this is pretty rare stuff right here. That black dress that you see in the middle belongs to Patsy Cline. And the shirt on the left belongs to Cowboy Copas. And the shirt on the right belongs to Hawkshaw Hawkins. And if you know the story, Patsy Cline, I think it was about sometime in March of 1963, I think it was. Yeah, because I remember it was my birthday. But anyway, they had the airplane crash, and all 3 of those was on that airplane crash who died on that airplane crash that day. And there was one other person on the airplane, which was the pilot, and the pilot was actually Patsy's manager, but also Cowboy Copas's son-in-law. But that's all 3 of them right there, all singers right there who was on the plane crash.
And also, tell us a little bit about the clothing itself. Like that, is this the ones that has the name brand that makes all the stars clothes? Or
these 2 are not. Like I said, I've got a lot of items designed by Nudie Cone, but these 2 are actually designed by other. I can't remember exactly who they're designed by, but they're designed by them. And they usually put a tag in the shirt, the name, who they designed it for, like Hawkshaw Hawkins in there, and the year he made it for them. That's what a lot of that is, right?
Well, and folks, you don't realize these have been authenticated, and this is a classic. I mean, we're talking about Patsy Cline here, and you're talking about history that we can't get back, but you can experience exactly what they wore and a little bit about them right there.
That's right. All right, there on the left is like I said, I got a little bit of everybody from country to rock and roll to whoever you think of. That right there on the left is ZZ Top, and that's all 3 of the ZZ Tops right there, and all 3 of those items are designed by Nudie Cone. The hat, I can think the hat was Dusty's. I'm trying to remember the other 2 without actually reading it right now in front of me, but those are the ZZ Top right there on the left, and the 2 shirts on the right are designed by Nudie Cone. If you look to the far right of that red shirt, you can see there's a little tag that says Nudie, and right underneath there's a little tag that has the name of when he made it for him and all. And that's the Everly Brothers right there.
Yeah. Now, the picture of it with Jeff Zach over in the left over there, the ZZ Top. I mean, I play their music now and now.
Yeah, I got you.
And they
Sharp
always
dressed man.
and they always had the coolest cars.
Oh yeah.
Now, the Everly Brothers, everybody, of course, knows the Everly Brothers also. Now, did that sign actually come off of?
Yeah, I tell you, the sign. Yeah, they were. I got that sign through an auction. They were redoing all the signs in their home. I can't remember where their hometown is now. They have a museum there in their hometown, and they were remaking all the signs. And so the old signs they put up on auction, and I got that one off of an auction.
Wow.
Real street sign. Yep, pretty cool.
Yeah, that it is. Here we go.
All right, there on your left is Mr. Elvis Presley right there on the left, guys. That's his shirt right there. And
Now, Elvis wore that shirt?
Yep, that's Elvis's shirt. It was matter of fact, the letter to the side left there is from his father, Vernon Presley, who actually donated it to an auction. And that's what that Elvis shirt is right there, folks. Elvis on the left. On the right is our local music history. A lot of people ask, why do you have a music museum in a little town of Swainsboro, Georgia? Population of only 8,000. Well, we had a lot of music history here. That suit there in the middle belonged to Hank Williams Jr. And back in 1957, we used to have a place here called the Nancy Auditorium, and it was attached to the radio station WJAT. And back in 1957, the Nancy Auditorium and the radio station was purchased by Webb Pierce, which that's his shirt on the far right down there. People might know Webb Pierce as a song. He's in the jailhouse now. He's in the jailhouse now.
Oh, yes,
so that's
definitely.
That's Webb Pierce. Well, what happened in 1957, Webb Pierce and the manager of the Grand Ole Opry at that time, his name was Jim Denny, they purchased the Nancy Auditorium and the radio station here in 1957. And being that Jim Denny was the manager of the Grand Ole Opry, he had in contract that if you sung on the Grand Ole Opry, you also had to sing in Swainsboro, Georgia. So many singers came through here in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But what was kind of cool was that Hank Williams Jr., he had his first live performance at the age of 8 years old with his mother on the Nancy Auditorium stage right here in Swainsboro, Georgia. And you can go to his website. He even talks about it there. And then over to the far left, that black shirt with the flowers on it belonged to Brenda Lee. Brenda Lee had her first paid performance. Her first paid performance was right here in Swainsboro, Georgia at the age of 9 years old. And it was actually before her name was Brenda Lee. Her name used to be Brenda Tapley. And that was when she was only 9 years old. But a lot of music history right here. Matter of fact, you talked about Patsy Cline a while ago. It wasn't her first time, but she appeared right here in Swainsboro, Georgia at the age of 25 years old. So a lot of music history here in Swainsboro, Georgia.
Wow. Pearson that sung in the jailhouse now, that was actually in a movie with the was not Smoky Bottom Boys, I guess it was our brother, How Art Thou?
That's right. It was in that movie. You're right.
It was in that movie they sung it. And,
yes.
Okay. Little thing here spinning a little bit.
All right. Well, all right. Again, there's Everly Brothers on the right, but they're on the left. A lot of folks might remember Janis Joplin. And that shirt right there belonged to Janis Joplin. And and how that came from, I don't know if y'all know, remember Judy Garland?
Yes.
Judy Garland, her last husband was Mickey Deans. And that shirt there came from one of his, he used to have these clubs that he would have clothes hanging in the clubs like, Hard Rock Cafe.
Right.
He had a big auction way back then, and he started auctioning stuff off. And I got a few items from Mickey Deans, and that Janis Joplin shirt came from Mickey Deans estate.
Well, if Judy Garland, been great to get those ruby slippers, wouldn't it?
Well, I do have I don't think I gave you a picture of it, but I do have a Judy Garland's a nice, really rhinestone jacket that came from Mickey Deans, and a Frank Sinatra jacket that actually came from Mickey Deans too.
Oh, wow.
I got a Tina Turner shirt, Tina Turner dress that came from Mickey Deans. I got a Karen Carpenter's dress. So I got a couple other folks I have.
You got a great museum.
That right there on the left is the Righteous Brothers. You've lost that love and feeling. You know, there you is.
Yes.
And those both are nudie shirts there. The Righteous Brothers on the left, and over there on the side is Sam Cooke. You remember that
Sam?
song?
Yeah.
Cupid, draw back your bow and let your
Oh,
arrow flow.
yes.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke's got
Well,
some
that's
great music out there.
and that's Sam Cooke's right there, and it's got his name in it where it was made for him and everything.
Yeah.
Right there on the left is Mr. Otis Reddy sitting on the dock of the bay.
Dock of the Bay, yes.
Yep, right
That's
there. Otis Reddy.
good classic beach music.
Yes, yeah. Now, right there on the right, I got a story about that on the right. That white shirt right there is signed by Joe Morris, the original drummer of the Swinging Medallions. The Swinging Medallions was performing here in Swainsboro, Georgia. We have what we call every year the first Saturday of May, the Pine Tree Festival. And matter of fact, this year is going to be the 79th annual of the Pine Tree Festival. It's the longest running festival in the state of Georgia. And the Swinging Medallions has performed here for the last 5 or 6 years. Well, when they were here singing, I mean, they sung right out the back door of the museum. We have like a little park behind the museum here. Well, Joe Morris walked in to check out the museum. He walked in with that white shirt on. And I said, Joe, I need some of yours in the museum. He said, well, hold on a second. He walked out there. He took that white shirt off and he put a red shirt on. He come back in and gave me that shirt right off his back. He signed it to me to put in the museum. You can't really see the pictures right there, but a picture beside, I got a picture of me and him there. He's wearing the white shirt. Then I got a picture of him when he came in with the red shirt on after he put the white shirt off. And Joe Morris gave me that shirt right there to put into the museum from the Swinging Medallions.
Oh, yes. I got to interview them, and they still a great band. If they're in your area, you need to go see them.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. And
there's a couple pictures that right there on the left are the Beatles. I have shirts that belong to all 4 of the Beatles, and designed by Nudie, and that's what that is on the left. There on the right is one of the walls. Got a couple walls like that with a bunch of different people on it. I'm just looking at that wall right there. There's Ronnie Millsap there. There's Glenn Campbell. There's Jim Reeves, Ray Price, Johnny Rodriguez. Right there is John Denver. Waylon Jennings is on that wall. Lionel Richie, Barry Gibb, Barry Manilow, Michael McDonald's on that wall. A lot of them right there on that one wall. That's like almost a Hall of Fame right there.
man, I tell you, you got a whole clothing store of stars.
There you go.
And don't forget, it's free admission.
That's right.
And,
I enjoy showing it off to everybody. Don't charge nothing. Just come on in and look at it.
That's it. Right there's a code. Just scan it and tell you all these things. You get to see some of these things in the website, and most of all, pictures say 1,000 words, but in person is 1 billion words. You just can't. You just can't not see with your own eyes.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot in there we didn't even mention.
And now you have a new release out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, this is the song I talked about earlier. My first release to radio in over 15 years. I hadn't recorded a song probably over 15, might be even longer than that, 15, 20 years. But this is the beach song. I decided to write. I decided to record myself in my own voice, and it was what's so cool. And we sent it out last Monday. It went to the radio, and Pat Gwynn sent it out on his stations, and it went out some other radio stations I had playing. And from Monday to Friday, what's so amazing, by Friday, it would debut at number 10 on the Pat Gwynn countdown. And I had a video you'll see here probably in a minute. And the video we did made it right there by Friday. We were on the Beach Music TV. You can go to beachmusictv.org if you got that on Roku TV or some other satellite dishes probably. But my video was video of the week this week past. And so the song made top 10, debuted at number 10, and the video went on Beach Music TV. So I was just excited about this new song, man. It's called Nothing Else Will Do.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's get let's let everybody else get excited about it, and let's play this song, and we'll come back and wrap things up. But I want them to hear this song because you did a great job on this, and that's why it's taken off so great.
But we have to say now, Jerry, you're the one who produced this. You made this video for me, man, and I appreciate you doing it for me.
Well, you surprise all the good stuff. I just had it easy. Let's listen to it.
All right.
Cruising down Ocean Drive, the sun shining bright. Got my favorite girl with me, everything feels right. Windows down, the wind's blowing through our hair. With every beat of the music, we have no care. Her smile is a treasure, lighting up the way. With my favorite girl, it's a perfect day. Playing favorite tunes on the radio, it's beach time. Let's go, let's go. I've got my favorite girl by my side. Cruising up and down on Ocean Drive. Hear the waves crashing under the sky so blue. Just me and my girl, nothing else will do. Dancing to the rhythm of the sea and the sun, holding each other, the day just begun. Kicking off our shoes as we stroll by the shore. With your hand in my girl, I couldn't ask for more. Sipping on cool drinks, feeling that summer breeze. Just being with you puts me at ease. Playing favorite tunes on the radio, it's beach time. Let's go, let's go. I've got my favorite girl by my side. Cruising up and down on Ocean Drive. Hear the waves crashing under the sky so blue. Just me and my girl, nothing else will do. Just me and my girl. Just me and my girl. Just me and my girl. Nothing else will do.
Great sound,
Very
great
good.
sound. I tell you, that was great, and yeah, it just brings back when I mean, as a teenager, and a bunch of us boys, we'd all get together and go down to Myrtle Beach, and get out on the
Yes.
sand and in search of those beautiful girls. And now when we get older, we take our own girls with us and our beautiful
right.
wives, and watch the other ones and kind of laugh a little bit because we've already got our catch, right?
There you go. That's the way it is. Yeah, I've been married now 29 years to Judy. Wonderful, wonderful woman.
Well, that's great. That's great. Now, they could search these wonderful songs and things in a Bright All-Star Band, which is AI-generated voices, and under that name. And these songs are streaming on Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and other platforms. That's all you got to do is search Bright All-Star Band or just get a hold of you.
Yeah, or well, you can search my name, Michael Bright, on
Exactly.
Spotify too. All my songs are on Spotify, all the different platforms. For like that new song right there you just heard, Nothing Else to Do. I've got 3 songs of my own on platforms right now. Nothing Else Will Do. Another song I wrote, you heard earlier, I'll Never Be Departed, and another one I wrote called Nothing's Too Good to Be True. Those are 2 gospel songs, and then my beach song. You can search Michael Bright, search either Michael Bright, Nothing Else Too Good to Be True. You can pull that up on Spotify, iHeart, or whatever. Yeah.
Well, Michael Bright,
Or go to michaelbrightmusic.com.
what is the
Mhm.
future for Michael Bright's music? You got some upcoming things that's coming
I'm
up.
praying about it, Jerry. Well, yeah, I'm praying hard about it, Jerry. I like to record some more songs. There's a couple of these songs that I did write that were AI that I think I'm going to try to record on my own. I want to see what this song here does first before I even attempt to do another one. But that's why I'm planning on doing these songs I wrote. I don't want them to just sit there, so I'm going to try to maybe record them later on. That's what it's all about. Just, and if anything, just get them out there and let people enjoy them. That's what it's all about.
Well, you're a great songwriter because just by listening to the words and now as you and I, when we listen to music, we listen to words. Some people just listen to the
Oh
beat,
yeah,
don't really hit a word. But as we
that's right.
condition and we're more into our music and things, we listen to those. I know
Yeah,
my son Brian Harris. He's got a music room that just blow you away. But not only that music room, he has that in-depth knowledge from the old music on up into the 80s that he can tell you who produced it, where it came from. If it came from this person, that person right there. Really, really
right.
amazing. But Michael, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I think we got through this, and with especially my internet being down too, but we got through with it great. You sounded good
Oh
and
yeah,
looked good,
I
and
appreciate it.
I'm looking forward. My son is too. We're looking forward to take this trip. We'll let you know about a week or so ahead of time when we make a trip
Yeah,
down your
cool.
way, because he's biting at the bits for the antiques and also more so about the music museum. And I'm gonna
That's
put you
right.
back.
We're open 6 days a week. So 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday, closed Sunday only. So y'all come see us.
And those QR code, you can go right there and it'll take you right there and give you addresses and phone numbers and everything like that. Well, Michael, I'm going to put you backstage a second. I'll come right back to you. I'll sign off here and I'll be right with you. Okay.
Thank you so much, Jerry, for what you're doing out there. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. All right. You've been listening to Michael Bright and his music, his journey, starting out in the gospel. And one track, he's off on seeing the church that he used to live behind and never walked in until his neighbor invited him and changed his life. And he's really doing great out here in this music world and bringing a lot of good music, good beach music, new gospel music. So keep an eye on him. He's going to be growing even more and more. He's on some other channels. He's on the radio stations. People's getting him for interviews. So I really appreciate him coming on my show. Well, I'm Jerry McKee, and we'll let you know what's coming up next Monday. I never let you know because I want you to be in suspense until about midweek or so. I'm Jerry McKee, and thank you for watching, and have a great, wonderful, wonderful